Operation Pliers. Operation Pliers, also known as Operation Tenaza or Operation Pincers, is the name of an alleged CIA plan to incite insurrection following the December 2, 2007 referendum on constitutional changes in Venezuela. According to the Venezuelan government, the plan was discovered in an internal memo uncovered by Venezuelan counterintelligence operatives on November 26, 2007. Thus far, the text of the memo has been published in Spanish only. The memo purports to be a communication from a CIA officer named Michael Middleton Steere, employed at the U.S. Embassy in Caracas, to CIA Director General Michael Hayden in Washington, D.C. It allegedly details measures taken and planned to destabilize Venezuela during and after the referendum. The document is dated November 20. Alleged plan: funding the opposition to Hugo Chavez. Tactics and actions. According to the memo, Operation Pliers entails a two-pronged strategy of impeding the referendum, rejecting the outcome, and at the same time calling for a no vote. In the run-up to the referendum, the operation includes running phony polls, attacking electoral officials, and running propaganda through the private media accusing the government of fraud and calling for a no vote. Contradictions, the memo emphasizes, are of no matter. Tactics also include a plan to implode the voting centers on the day of the referendum by encouraging opposition voters to vote and remain in their centers to agitate others to take to the streets and protest with violent disruptive actions across the nation and incite a general uprising in a considerable portion of the population. This would culminate in the mobilization of students at private universities, backed by top administrators, to attack key government buildings, including the Presidential Palace, Supreme Court, and the National Electoral Council. The ultimate objective of the operation, as outlined in the memo, is to seize a territorial or institutional base with the massive support of the defeated electoral minority within 3 or 4 days, presumably after the elections, backed by an uprising by oppositionist military officers, principally in the National Guard. The embassy operative concede that the military plotters have run into serious problems as key intelligence operatives were detected, stores of arms were decommissioned, and several plotters are under tight surveillance. Apart from the deep involvement of the U.S., the primary organization of the Venezuelan business elite Fede Camaras, as well as all the major private television, radio, and newspaper outlets, have been engaged in a campaign of fear and intimidation campaign against the referendum and any results thereof. Curacao and Colombia. Military measures are mentioned: coordination with ex-military officers and coupsters Pina Esclusa and Gayan Chelis through the military attaché for defense and army at the U.S. Embassy in Caracas Defense Attaché Office DAO, encouraging a possible military rebellion inside the National Guard. The document also mentions a possible U.S. attack of Venezuela by asking to complete the operative preparations on the U.S. military bases in Curacao and Colombia to provide support to actions in Venezuela. U.S. and Venezuelan response. Venezuelan response. The response of the Venezuelan government to the alleged discovery of the memo has been to attempt to dissuade the U.S. from bringing the plan into action by threatening to cut off oil supplies if it does so. U.S. response. The U.S. has called Venezuelan accusations of a CIA conspiracy ridiculous one. According to the International Herald Tribune, an embassy spokesman said, "We reject and are disappointed in the Venezuelan government's allegations that the United States is involved in any type of conspiracy to affect the outcome of the constitutional referendum and a CIA